Party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. It's me. As you can see from the title, Wishbone's back. Wishbone is back. Oh, Surreal. Why are you so excited that Wishbone is back? First off, how dare you ask that question to me? Do you not know that I'm a TV geek? I'm a huge television geek. One of the things I geeked out on, television-wise, was PBS. Yes, PBS Kids had some amazing shows back in the day that not only didn't insult our intelligence, but were actually really good and really well made. And the problem with PBS shows was that most of the PBS Kids shows kind of dropped off when the funding dropped off. And the funding can drop off for any reason or no reason whatsoever. And we had no idea. They could be very popular shows like Ghost Rider, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and one day they're just not there. They're just gone. And especially back in the 90s, there was no news on these at all. They just disappeared. Meanwhile, you had mainstays like Reading Rainbow and Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but these other really good, really well-made shows just poof, gone. And they've had these other shows throughout the years. Most recently that I can recall, Word Girl was actually very good and very smart, and so was Rough Ruffman. Yeah, I'm a giant kid. I'm a giant. I have toys. Look at toys everywhere. I'm a giant kid. Venom. I'm a giant kid. Wishbone was one of my favorites, and Wishbone, not only was the story Wishbone, just a cool little thing. It was about a dog who imagined all these tales, all these stories that we used to see or that we used to read back in the day, and it would kind of lay out in kind of very simplified but also smart terms what these stories were, like easy to digest terms of what these stories were, and encourage you to go find the rest of the stories later. He did stuff like Odyssey. He did Anansi. Y'all don't understand. Huge racial, things happening in the world right now. Wishbone way ahead of the curve. Wishbone was Anansi, the spider. Do you understand that? The old African folktale of Anansi. I first heard, maybe not first, when I first saw an interpretation of it, I didn't first hear about it. I first saw an interpretation of it on this little kid show written deep in the heart of Texas. And it was right there on my screen. Written and produced deep in the heart of Texas, there was Wishbone pretending to be Anansi, telling us stories about how he tricked people and got wisdom and gave slaves their wings. Oh my God. You don't understand. Wishbone was woke before woke was woke. Wishbone was all about it. Wishbone was the man. I love me some Wishbone. Well, now, this comes to us via the Nerdist. Prepare your nostalgic hearts for a Wishbone movie. Everyone's favorite little dog with a big imagination on such a little pup. Yes, I know the lyrics to that just as deep as I know my own name and the lyrics to Golden Girls. Don't at me. Everyone's favorite little dog with a big imagination is coming back. Only this time he's moving to the big screen. Mattel Films and Universal Pictures have announced they are co-developing a live-action film based on the 90s TV series about a creative Jack Russell Terrier, Wishbone. The latest project from Mattel Films, the company's 9th announced movie, will mark their first ever theatrical film collaboration with Universal, which we first heard about at Variety. Oscar winner Pete Farrelly, Green Book, There's Something About Mary, will produce with Mattel. That's interesting. From There's Something About Mary to Wishbone, that's interesting. Roy Parker, 2019's The Blacklist's The House Is Not For Sale, will write the script. Was that an episode? That was probably an episode of The Blacklist. Wait, that's weird. Hold on. Let me check Blacklist episodes to see if that's... Hold on. Oh, right, because The Blacklist wouldn't have those episode titles. They were the titles of the Blacklisters. So, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that a music video? I don't know what that is. Robbie Brenner will serve as executive producer. Kevin McKeon will head up the project for Mattel Films as supervising producer. And director of development Lexi Barda will oversee the project for Universal. Our deep library of iconic franchises continues to offer cinematic storytelling opportunities, said Brenner in a press release. We're thrilled to be working with Peter Farrelly, Roy Parker, and Universal to take the beloved dog classic into a new direction with a modern reimagining of the franchise. Wishbone on PBS followed an adorable dog who loved imagining himself as a leading character in classic literary tales. Yes, he did, and he was adorable. By the way, I love dogs. I love dogs. It debuted in 1995 and ran for 2 seasons and 50 episodes. The very good pupper, he was a very good pupper, starred in his own featured film on PBS in 1998's Wishbone's Dog Days of the West. Mattel says his new live-action adventure for theaters will be a modern 4-quadrant comedy that will appeal to the whole family. That worries me. That worries me a bit, because here's the problem. When people talk about kids' things and talk about will appeal to the whole family, they dumb it down. They dumb kids' properties down so much. For the most part, they become unwatchable for adults and anybody who remembers the franchise beforehand. And they dumb it down so much, and they expect kids to just like it just because kids will watch anything because kids are stupid. When they say stuff like that, that kind of triggers me. Like, will they make this stupid? Like, would this be like Scoob? Like, will they just make it dumb? Or will they just dumb it down and just least common denominator and like have cartoons out of nowhere drawn like all these cartoons are drawn nowadays with the exaggerated shitty style? Like, it's just kind of it triggers me. It triggers me to no end. Don't like that. But we'll see how this finishes out. Are you already thinking about which 4 classic novels you want to see that delightful dog daydream through? Yeah, so are we. There's no more fitting way to get ready for a Wishbone movie than imagining who he might be the next time we. That was a weird sentence. Then imagining who he might be the next time we see him. Okay. That may be correct, but it sounds incorrect. Anyway, I'm kind of excited for this, except for that last paragraph before last. That kind of triggered me a bit, but I'm kind of excited for this. Guess what? They can get the cast, because the cast ain't doing nothing. Unfortunately, the cast ain't. You know who is doing stuff? The mom. I just checked her IMDb. She's still doing stuff. Like, her last project came out this year. No one else in the cast is still doing stuff. Even the girl on the show, who I admit I had a crush on. I had a huge crush on her when that show came. I was like, oh, yeah, she's all kinds of cute and grew up to be all kinds of sexy. But she didn't do anything. None of the other cast has really done anything in the last, 5-6 years. They can get them for a Coke and a smile. Looking at who's attached to this thing, none of them, I don't outright know a whole lot of their stuff. Like Peter Farrelly did There's Something About Mary. That's pretty much all that I know. I didn't see Green Book. I heard it wasn't great. I'd never heard of The Blacklist. The House is not for sale. I was gonna say The House is not a home, but The House is Not for Sale. I've never seen that at all. Have never heard of it. So that may be a little iffy too, because if you remember, there was another franchise more popular than Wishbone that had inexperienced writers attached to it. Looking at you, Feedbusters. But from there was a clear paper trail of the people attached to it not giving a damn about the original property. There isn't anything here to say that the people attached to this don't care about Wishbone. They're just kind of unknown entities. They're just kind of unknown quantities in this whole Wishbone equation. So let's take a look at Peter Farrelly's IMDb. He was a producer on Movie 43, huh? Here again, now I'm starting to worry. Now I'm starting to fret. He's set to produce, but let's see what he's written on. Seinfeld, he did a story. He wrote Dumb and Dumber. I hated Dumb and Dumber. And I was the target audience for it. I was a kid. Kids are stupid. They'll like anything. I hated Dumb and Dumber. There's Something About Mary. Outside Providence, never saw it. Me, Myself, and Irene, heard that wasn't good. Shallow Hal, I actually liked. Dumb and Dumberer. Didn't see that for obvious reasons. Well, he wrote the characters for that, so he wasn't really attached. Stuck on You, heard that was terrible. Blit Happens, never heard of it. Heartbreak Kid, heard that was awful. Hall Pass, heard that didn't hear that much about it. Three Stooges, heard that was terrible. Dumb and Dumber 2, written by, heard, I didn't like the first one. Why would I like that one? A whole bunch of other stuff I've never seen, and that's all he's written. Let's see what he's produced. He was a producer on There's Something About Mary, Me, Myself, and Irene. Say it isn't so. Osmosis Jones. Again, Shallow Hal, which I liked. Stuck on You. Ozzy and Drix, the TV show. The Ringer, which I saw and wasn't great. Unhitched, Hall Pass, Three Stooges, Movie 43, Leisure Class. Green Book. So I'm losing faith. I am losing faith. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Let's see what Roy Parker has done. Oh, again, very thin IMDb. Paper thin IMDb. Only done 3 things. And I've heard of none of them. Unless it's a different Roy Parker. Maybe there's another Roy Parker. Again, paper thin IMDb. And not even what they credit him in. I'm starting to lose faith in this thing. I'm starting to lose faith. I should have done my homework. I shouldn't have looked deeper. I should have just stayed excited. I should have just stayed excited. I'm not thrilled about Mr. Farrelly's. Oh, wait. Farrelly is in like the Farrelly brothers? Oh, not excited. Not excited. Not excited. They're going to dumb it down. They're going to dumb Wishbone down. Wow. They're going to make Wishbone stupid somehow. They're going to make Wishbone stupid. They're going to throw in crash jokes because it's a kid's movie. You know, kids like that. It's going to be dumb. They're going to dumb Wishbone down. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That sucks. That sucks. Wow. Wow. That really sucks. That really sucks. I loved Wishbone. That really sucks. Wow. I'm so not as excited anymore as I was. Huh. I gotta marinate on this one. I'm not that excited about this one anymore. I gotta marinate on this one. Looking at what Peter Farrelly's done, that's not the right tone for Wishbone. And the writer, I can't seem to find anything on. The Roy Parkers I did find have paper thin IMDb's. That again were not in the vein of Wishbone, not in the heart of Wishbone. This is the problem when you're doing reboots. You have to have people attached that love and respect the entity that you're doing. And you have to have people that, you should have people that either have experience in writing the style and heart of the original that you like, to keep to make it a universal love of this new thing, or don't touch it at all, or be a huge fan of it so that they can contribute what they know about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm a little less trepidatious about, the new Ghostbusters one versus Feegbusters, because now you have a Reitman attached to it who was born and raised in Ghostbusters, in that world. He knows it. He loves it. Worst case scenario, it's a bad love letter to it versus a bad FU to it. So this, I would imagine they're not coming off with this FU vibe that Paul Feig is, right? Like, they're not gonna come out and be like, Wishbone's gonna be a girl and everything's gonna be girl, and he's gonna burn books and just do stuff on Kindles and screw everything you loved as a kid. Ah ha 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 ha. I don't think they're coming out with that vibe. There's nothing that suggests that. They just may not be right for the project, and they just may not have a love or appreciation for the project. They certainly don't seem to have the style of the project. So I don't know. Party people, I don't know. Tell me what you think down there in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe. What were your favorite Wishbone episodes? I know the Sleepy Hollow episode was really good. I mentioned Anansi. The Hercules episode was actually pretty good too. I really liked the Hercules episode. Tell me what you think down there in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. How do you feel about this particular reboot? Reboots as a whole, I just gave you my philosophy on them. How do you feel about this particular one? Are you looking forward to it? Do you remember Wishbone at all? Am I holding too tight to the nostalgia glasses because I'm a giant child? Well, okay. But tell me what you think down there in the comment section anyway. Like, share, subscribe. Patreon.com/surreal469. Help keep the lights and the drinks flowing at the party. I got a podcast every Thursday. How do we even get here? Right? You can find that everywhere. And in the meantime, the in-between time, what's the story, Wishbone? What's the